Hello first year seminar students. Welcome to the Richardson Library. My name is Elizabeth Norman. I am the university librarian. This fall I'll be starting my 26th year here at Hardin-Simmons. I have a bachelor's degree from HSU in secondary education, social science composite. I have a master's degree from the University of North Texas in library science, and I have a master's in education also from Hardin-Simmons. We're so happy that you're on campus, and we just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce ourselves.
Hi, I'm James Floyd. I'm the Cataloging and Collection Development Librarian. I've been at Hardin-Simmons for 9 years. I received a bachelor's and master's degree in music theory from Baylor University and a doctorate in musical arts at the University of North Texas. I also have a master's in library science from the University of North Texas. Glad to see you at Hardin-Simmons.
My name is Jeremy Maynard. I'm the User Services Librarian here at Hardin-Simmons. I've been here for 6 years. I have a bachelor's degree with a double major in psychology and history from here in 2008, and then a master's in library science from Wayne State in 2012. You're going to come in contact with us a lot throughout the semester. We're going to be in this building for the most part this semester. When the library is open, one of the three of us should be here. But we also have tons of other ways you're going to be able to be in contact with us, whether that's Zoom meetings or email, or if you want to use the chat online on the HSU library homepage. There's tons of ways you can get in contact with us. Please do not hesitate to do so. We are here for you, and we're glad you're on campus.
Thank you. And just one caveat, the library is open till midnight on Sunday nights through Thursday nights, so we're not usually here until midnight, but you can usually come and find us by 9 o'clock.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Maynard, and I'm the User Services Librarian here at Hardin-Simmons, and I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the HSU Library homepage and all the different things we have available for you guys to use. We have several different tabs up here that I'm going to walk through each one, and I'm going to show you specifically what each one of those has to offer and how they're different from each other. First, I want to focus on just this homepage for a second. One of the main things that we like for you guys to use is this Ask a Librarian chat box right here. From 7:30 in the morning until midnight, which is the normal library hours, when you have a chat question, it goes to a person who's in our building. So if you have questions about, you need help finding a research article, you need help finding a book, any questions at all, please feel free to come in here and chat with us. If you're on the second floor, which is the quiet floor, and somebody is being loud in there, this is also a place where you can anonymously kind of send in a chat and say, hey, I'm trying to study on the second floor and somebody's being loud, or they're having a little mini party up here. Can you come get them to go to the third floor or the first floor? That's another place where we can go straight up there and we can take care of that for you. So if you have any questions library related, please stop in right here to the chat and ask us questions. This chat is available 24/7, so although we staff it from 7:30 in the morning until midnight, from midnight until 7:30 the next morning, this is staffed by a trained professional librarian who can answer any of the same questions that we would answer in person or in our building. They have access to all the same materials that you have access to. There should not be a question that you have that you can't get answered from here. But if that does happen, the person on the other end from you will send me a transcript, and we can get this figured out. The next thing I want to highlight is down here in the scroll bar that shows these little slides that come by. So they highlight things such as, in this case, professional development. So there's a library close date. So if there's a holiday or we change a policy in the middle of the semester, it'll be highlighted here. Subject guides is highlighted. Research roundup, it says what we're trying to do with research roundup. The hours are always located multiple places. This is one of the questions we get the most on the chat. And on this one page alone, there's normally a slide that has the chats, and it's also listed up here at the top that says what the library hours are. So that's everything on the home page. Now we're going to get into Research Roundup. Research Roundup is what I want you guys to think of as the Google search bar of the library. This is going to give you awesome information. It searches over 400 databases at one time, which is a ton. and it's automatically starts out as full text. We're going to do something really generic, and we're going to search for Smith. So normally this takes a couple of seconds for it to search through all the hundreds of databases that we have. So if it doesn't go in 2 or 3 seconds, just wait a second and it'll eventually come up. So we search for something super generic like Smith, okay? That gave us 31.5 million results, okay? That is a ton of results. You guys are not going to look through 31 million results. I'm not going to look through 31 million results. Nobody is, okay? So in order to narrow that down, we have to come over here on the side under Refine Results, and we have to limit. So we can limit, it's automatically selected as full text right here. I just unchecked it, which means this number should skyrocket from 31 million to 71 million, okay? So it automatically is at full text from that page. So we're going to start with our 31.5 million. The next thing you can do is some professors will tell you they only want peer-reviewed journals or scholarly journals. And if you click this, that means you're going to get the top 1 or 2% of journal articles for that subject that you're looking for. So we went from 31.5 million down to 6.5 million. So that's a huge decrease in what we're trying to find with one button click. The next thing I want us to look at is this publication date. Sometimes it's really important to go back as far as you can and find information on a topic. But if you're doing anything in science or technology, you probably want current up-to-date information, and there's a couple ways you can do that. You can either click in here and type in the date, and as soon as you type it in and press enter, it'll start updating for you. So just by narrowing it down to 2010, we dropped it in half again. Or you can slide this and we'll bring it up to 2015 and it'll update again. So a lot of times you'll have a professor that'll tell you they'll only want information in the past 3 years, past 5 years, past 7 years. That's how you narrow that down. So then you come down here to source types. Normally there's a lot of different source types that you have here. If you don't select any of these up at the top, like full text or scholarly, you will have more source types available to you. But because we've already narrowed it down, we've limited that a pretty good deal. For the most part, you just want to click academic journals. Sometimes you might need to read a book review or see what it said in a magazine or some conference materials, but almost exclusively, I tell people to just limit to academic journals. And that's going to take, again, down to 1.9 million from that 32.5 million that we started at, right? So this is all just about narrowing it down and trying to get it down to a topic that to get you an article that you actually are going to want to read about. So you can come down here. One of the things that people don't ever select for some reason is this language button. If you click the language button, some of you can read and write in multiple languages. That's awesome. If you can't, if English is the only language you can read and write in, don't worry about it. Just come over here and select this English button, and you will not get any Turkish or any Portuguese in here. Sometimes, if you don't select that, it will appear like you have selected something and it's in English. A lot of times, even if it's in another language, the abstract or the first page of the article is in English. So you think, I'm fine, you print it off, you go home, you start doing your research, and you turn to the second page, and congratulations, now it's in Turkish. That's probably very frustrating for you. It would be very frustrating for me. So now let's just look at a couple different ways we can view these. So for each journal, it's going to say it's an academic journal, it's going to give you the title, and it's going to give you a couple of options down here. So the primary option is always going to be the PDF full text. There will be some of them. Let's see if we can find one. Some of them will give you the option of having HTML, and I don't see any in this set that say HTML. Some of them will say HTML full text, and it will give you that option. So if you click the HTML full text or the title, it brings you to this page, and if you click HTML, it'll just have a list at the end of this part right here. It'll just start with the article. But since we have PDF full text, we can come over here and select the PDF full text, and it's going to open up in this format right here. And then this is exactly what the journal article looks like. If you were to go find the physical journal and cut the spine off and scan the pages, this is exactly what it looks like in the physical journal itself. Up here at the top, you can see a couple things. Number one is you can download it from here if you want to download the article. You can print from here. Some of the awesome steps on the side that I really like, if you have Google Drive, this is a great place to store these. If you're just looking for it and you don't really need to use it right this second, you can come in here and you can click Google Drive, and you can save it to your Google Drive. That's an awesome tool. A different way to print, you can email it to yourself, or if a professor ever tells you to go find an article and do some kind of assignment with it, and you're just not sure if the article that you picked is appropriate or not, this is a great place to go and send it to your professor and say, hey, I wanted to use this article. Is this the type of article that you're thinking about? And they can tell you back yes or no, or whatever they need to tell you to get you to the right place. So that's another great tool. This little gold piece of paper button right here gets people in a lot of trouble. This says cite. So in here, it's going to give you its best interpretation of what format you're using. So if you're in history and you're using Turabian, here's the Chicago Turabian version. Here's MLA. APA, I believe, is right there. Be very careful with this. It even tells you up here, it says review instructions and always consult your library resource for exact formatting and punctuation guidelines. So they don't even claim that this is the best way. This is just their system's way of putting it together. Please always check this with someplace else. Use the Writing Center on campus to overlook this. That's what they are experts in that more than you probably are. Use the Writing Center. Use the ref chat. Ask us questions. That's what we're here to do. Please do not copy and paste this into your paper and think that it's going to be right. Another helpful thing on this side is this little link button at the bottom. This is called the permalink, which means this is the link to this specific article. One of the worst things that can happen is you spend 10 minutes looking for an article, and then for some reason your phone has a problem or your computer has a problem and it shuts down, and you have to come back after you get all the way to this point, and you're trying to remember what the title was, what the author's name was. We searched over 32 million times. If you clicked one of those buttons one time and not the second time and can't remember, the chances of you finding this article again is going to be pretty low. So if you find an article you like, one of the first things that I normally try to do is I normally either save it to my Google Drive or come up here and have like a Word document where I just copy and paste all these into. That way I don't lose this specific article. For the most part at Hardin-Simmons throughout your career here, this is going to be where you are at using the library. You're going to be on this page. So getting familiar with these buttons over here on the right, and then getting familiar with what this page looks like, and the search result list, this is where you're going to be for a lot of your research issues at Hardin-Simmons. So please get familiar with this. If you have any questions about this, please do not hesitate to contact us with the chat or a couple other ways I'll show you about in a minute. So that was Research Roundup. Now we're going to come over here to Library, Books, and More. In Library, Books, and More, it is what you think it is. So it says Search Online Catalog. So this is where we have the actual physical books listed in the catalog. You can get to some of the books in Research Roundup, but if you know you're specifically looking for a book, this is the place to go. So we're going to come over here and we're going to look for Magic Treehouse, because that's, for some reason, everybody loves Magic Treehouse, right? So one of the cool things to note about the HSU library is that as soon as you look at this first one, you'll see that this says it's at the Abilene Public Library. At Hardin-Simmons, we are a part of the Abilene Library Consortium, which means in our catalog, we have books from Hardin-Simmons, all of the public libraries in Abilene, ACU, McMurray, and Howard Payne. So if you look over here on this left-hand side, just in this case, for Magic Treehouse, ACU, the APLs, and then us. So there are tons of books available here. There are movies available from the public library. There are audiobooks from the public library. There is a ton of physical items that you can get, not just from us, but from places all over Abilene. So in order to narrow it down just specifically to HSU, you can either click this and click include, or you can just click the name of the library you're looking for. So this one, so we have Magic Treehouse Dinosaur Before Dark, and it says there are 3 available. There's one at ACU, one at APL that's due back on September 1st, one from APL Mockingbird, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but we have one here. So the easiest thing to do if you are trying to reserve a book, and even in this case, if you're at Hardin-Simmons and you're trying to reserve this book, you can come in here and you can click place hold. It's going to ask you for your barcode number, which is the last, it's on the back side of your HSU ID that you got. It's a really long number. Most of them start with 1307. And then it's going to say your last 4 of your social security number, and you're going to click log in. And it's going to ask you, do you really want to place a hold on this book? And the cool thing is, because we're a part of the library consortium, you can get this picked up wherever you want it to be picked up at. If you live over on the south side of town and you want to go to the south branch and have it be picked up there, you can have it be picked up there. There's a courier that runs twice a day in town that drops off and picks up books. So if you get a book from ACU, you don't actually have to go get the book from ACU. The courier will pick it up and bring it over here for you, and you'll get an email to your HSU email account saying that your book got here. So we're going to say we want it to be picked up at HSU. We're going to click place hold, and it's going to say success. That's how you know it worked. And you're going to click OK, and it's going to bring you back here. So really easy to use. You can come over here on this left-hand side, and if you know the author, you can kind of narrow it down. If you know you want an audio disc instead of a book, click that and click include, and it'll narrow it down. It's really easy to use. Don't be afraid of getting books from here. It's awesome. We have access to tons of materials because we're in the consortium. It's very helpful for us. So, research roundup, library books, and more. Now we're going to go to this databases tab. There are 2 ways to look at these databases. You can either look at the subject list, or you can look at the alphabetical list, where you can just look at this and scroll and see how many A's we have, and come over here to H and see the list of the H's. If a professor ever tells you they want you to search specifically in one database, that's the easiest way to do it. Now we're going to work on e-journals. E-journals is something that I think scares people a little bit, and it really shouldn't. So you're going to click e-journals, and it's going to say view full-text journals online. So you're going to click this one. It's going to open up this new window, and it's going to have all these lists where it says browse by discipline. You can look at whatever your list is, or if a professor tells you the title of the journal, we're going to do look at the International Journal of Psychology. So it's awesome because it autofills, which is very helpful for somebody like me who can't spell. But you're going to search for it, and the first one that comes up is the International Journal of Psychology, which happens to be the one we're looking for. But there is one little tricky thing that you have to look for when you're looking at e-journals here. The first is that it says we have full text access. There are 4 different places that we have full text access to this specific journal. So the main thing to look at is these dates. So sometimes, like this one, all the dates are the exact same, right? So we all have March 1st of 1975. That's the same one for all of them. If we scroll down here and look at the second one, this is more common than having all the same dates. So this one is June 1st of 2009 to present. This is January 1st, 2008 to present. So if you're looking for a specific article from a specific journal that a professor gives you, and you need something from 2008, obviously this is not going to be the place where you need to go, right? Because it doesn't start till the middle of June. So just look at these dates and be reminded of these dates before you get into anything. We're going to come back up here. The full text delay, also pay attention to that. Sometimes there are embargoes that say full text delay 1 year. Some of them, like this one, say it's an 18-month delay. It just depends on, this one says 2 years. So, and even like this one, all of them say different things. This one's 18 months, this one's 2 years, 18 months, 2 years. It just really depends. It's kind of crazy. But the easy thing is, once you're in here, so I'm going to click this one that says Academic Search Complete. And so now it's going to bring up this one journal in the database that we're looking through. So it's going to show all the issues on this right-hand side, and it goes down even farther than you guys can see on your screen. It goes all the way back to 1975. So from here, if you know that the article is from 2014, you click 2014, and it's going to expand to 2014. And it's going to show you all 6 of the issues. So 49.1 all the way through 49.6. So you know it's in issue 5 because you can read the citation that your professor gave you, and it's going to give you all 14 of the articles that are in this journal, this publication. Okay, so instead of having 3,000 or 5,000, this is going to give you 14 results, which is just that journal from that specific issue. So in these, like what I was trying to explain before with the HTML full text, if you click this one, it just goes straight from where it has the title to into the text of what the article says. And this text is the exact same text as is in the full text. So if you see the PDF or the HTML, it does not matter how you look at it. It's the exact same text. This is the physical journal that they basically scan in and make it look pretty good. But like I said, it's really easy to use. Don't be scared about coming in here and finding this. You can also come in here and you can save these to the cloud. So if you have Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, you can save it to any one of those places as well. So if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to read it, you can just save it to the cloud right off the bat and not worry about it. So like I said, and from there, it looks exactly like all the other databases that we have in Research Roundup. Okay? Do not be scared about this. This is a really good tool. It's really awesome. Now we're going to look at HSU history stuff. So we have a couple of things you can look at. So the West Texas Digital Archives are archives that this region has put together that's going to have a lot of really interesting stuff. So we're going to do Anna Hall, which is one of the old dorms that used to be here on campus. And so I searched Anna Hall. It gave me 35,000 results. This is a whole lot more. There's a lot more pictures and stuff in this one. So this is just an image of one of the old dorms here on campus. And in first year seminar, one of the things that you have to do is there's some HSU history component to it. So this is just another place that's a really great place to go look for HSU history tidbits. There's also, in the West Texas Digital Archives, there's also the HSU brand is in there. So the newspaper, the student newspaper, which has tons of fascinating information. And then you can come over here to this HSU history tab and go to the Research Center homepage, and it's going to give you stuff about Dr. Richardson, HSU history. So, for example, in HSU history, there are timelines about when things have happened at Hardin-Simmons, whether it's buildings that were here, student activities, administration, or athletics, or 125 years. And it also has, more importantly, the contact information for Mary Burke, who is the special collections manager, who will be the person you will go talk to on the second floor about any of your questions about HSU history. Really awesome thing we have available. And it makes your job easier whenever you have to do your HSU history component. The very last thing I want to talk about, because it's one of the most important things we have, is up here at this top. It's called subject guides. So if you click on this, you're going to have this giant list of subjects. So in this case, there's 44. So we're going to come down here. We're going to search. We're just going to look at English. So we're going to click on English. By the way, those are broken all down by subject matter, so it's really easy to use. So in this case, we're going to look at the English subject guide. So this has a little literature research roundup. So the last time when we searched for Smith, it automatically selected full text for us. So this time we're not going to do it. And we started out last time with 32.5 million. This time, because we're only searching for literature sources, right? We've narrowed it down to just literature. We're going to start off with 1.1 million instead of 32.5. And then from there, we can limit to linked full text, which takes it under 1 million. Limit it to peer-reviewed journal, which takes it down to under 250,000. Limit it to 2010, so the past 10 years, we're at under 100,000. And then we can keep going, all the steps we did before. Academic journals, now we're at 65,000. English, we're still at 62,000. And then we can start from here with what we're trying to find. And like I said, it's the exact same. If you click the PDF here, the image might be different just based on what the inside of each journal looks like, but everything else around it on both sides will look the exact same. So you need to get comfortable with this, especially if you're going to go to grad school. This is something that's not really going to go away for you. You're always going to have to know how to do this kind of searching. So the other cool thing about this is there's another place to ask a librarian. There's other databases on the left-hand side that some of them aren't included in Literature Research Roundup that you can specifically go to and look for. The eJournal page, citation help. So if you're doing English and you're not sure, does English work the same as history or psychology, APA, MLA, whatever your discipline is, so in this case English, you can go to the Works Cited page here, and it's going to take you to Purdue OWL. Hopefully everybody's heard of Purdue OWL. But it's an awesome place to go check and make sure you're using the formatting and the style guide appropriately. And so those are all linked to the correct place in here. There's also video tutorials that I've created on the library YouTube page that you can go in and click and watch little 5-minute videos about how to find the topic that you're looking for. And also importantly, it gives you help over here about who the librarian is that you can go contact. So in this case, it's me. So you can email me, you can come by my office on the first floor, it tells you my office hours, my phone number, and like I said, it's really awesome. It's a great way for you guys to be able to get in touch with us. And like I said, the main thing about this is we want you guys to feel comfortable coming in and talking to us and asking any questions you have. We are here for you. I know most of you don't like research, it's one of my favorite things to do. Do not sit on the third floor, sit in your dorm room, and struggle trying to find information or try to figure out what to look for or what terms to use for hours. If you could have taken 10 seconds and come over here and started typing in the chat, and I answer the chat question, and we can have you sorted out and figured out what you need to be doing, what sources you need. We can have that figured out, and you can be on your way in 10 or 15 minutes. And you can go on to the next step of your paper, which is putting together your ideas and your thoughts about how to shape this, as opposed to just, I can't find any sources on Macbeth or whatever you're looking for. Okay? So please do not hesitate to come in here and ask us questions. That's what we're here for. Like I said, my office is on the first floor of the library, like you're going around to the elevator. If my door is open, or if not, knock on my door and come and talk to me. That's what we are here to do. And if you have any questions, please come chat with us, call us, ask us at the front desk. We are here to help you.